March 20th, 2023 will commence now at 6 p.m. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies in which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of the Act, the Kinnelon Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published in the Suburban Trends on January 22nd, 2023, posted in the Kinnelon Public Library, filed with the Borough Clerk, posted on the district website. Ms. Keenan, hold the board.
Mr. Eisenmaker? Mrs. Leonard? Yes.
Here.
Mr. Von Pierce? Not here. Mrs. Perrella?
Here. Mrs.
Boardman?
Here.
Mr. Petroselli?
Here.
And Mrs. Dawson?
Here. Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Petitions and hearings of citizens. There are none here for agenda items. Are there any?
It was not on my agenda.
Okay, agenda items, Finance Committee. Agenda item number 1 represents the Finance, Facilities, and Security Committee's recommendations. Budget motion, Kinnelon Board of Education, the adoption of the tentative budget for the school year 2023 to 2024. Be resolved that the tentative budget be approved for the 23-24 school year using state aid figures and the Secretary to the Board of Education be authorized to submit to the Executive County Superintendent for approval in accordance with the state code. The following figures outlined in the agenda. Total expenditures for 23-24, the general fund $46,128,215, plus special revenues and debt service totaling $48,409,958,000, less anticipated revenues for total $7,067,442. Taxes to be raised, as indicated in the agenda, totaling $41,342,516. And to advertise said tentative budget in the Suburban Trends in accordance with the form suggested by the New Jersey Department of Education and according to law. Be further resolved that a public hearing on the budget for the proposed budget for the approval of the budget will be held on Tuesday, April 25th at 6 p.m. Adjustment for enrollment be resolved that the Board of Education includes in the tentative budget adjustment for enrollment in the amount of $162,267. Maximum travel pursuant to state code, a Board of Education must establish a maximum dollar for travel expenditures. And be resolved that the Board of Education includes in the tentative budget a maximum travel expenditure in the amount of $43,355. Travel and related expense reimbursements. The Board of Education recognizes school staff and board members will incur travel expenses related to within the scope of their current responsibilities, and for travel that promotes the delivery of instruction as furthers the efficient operation of the school district. In accordance with New Jersey codes, subchapter 7 requires board members to receive approval of these expenses by a majority of the full voting membership of the board, and staff members to receive prior approval of these expenses by the superintendent of schools and a majority of the full voting membership of the board. And the Board of Education may establish for regular district business travel only an annual school year threshold of 150 per staff member where prior board approval shall not be required unless this annual threshold for staff members exceeded in a given year. And travel and related expenses not in compliance with code but deemed by the Board of Education to be necessary and unavoidable as noted in the approved Board of Education out of district travel reimbursement forms. Resolved, the Board of Education approves all travel not in compliance with the code as being necessary and unavoidable as noted in the approved Board of Education out of district travel and reimbursement forms, and the board included in the tentative budget travel and related expenses reimbursements in accordance with code to a maximum expenditure of $43,355 for all staff and board members for the 23-24 school year. The school business administrator board secretary shall track and report these costs to ensure that the maximum amount is not exceeded. Professional services. Again, according to code, the board must establish a maximum dollar limit for professional services and public relations. Therefore, be resolved that the Board of Education approves the following Maximums for the 23-24 year as follows: legal $1,110,000, audit $41,000, physician $24,000, therapist $830,000, for a total of $1,005,000. Capital reserve. Capital reserve account withdrawal will be $1,654,731. Be resolved that the Kinnelon Board of Education requests your approval for the withdrawal from the capital reserve in the 23-24 budget to provide funding for following projects: technology upgrades, $568,360, security upgrades, $163,500, transportation, $91,892, custodial maintenance equipment, $76,000, infrastructure projects, $754,979. Be resolved that the school business administrator track and report these costs. Motion to approve the proposed budget.
Motion to approve.
Second. Okay, discussion. I do apologize because I was away this weekend and we met and I didn't have time to put the minutes out. But it is the proposed budget. We have to been discussing this off and on for a while. The only thing that I do want to note, and if anybody has any questions, is we have to do a fund withdrawal because we did that last year. $927,000. So this is something that we have as recurring costs. So does anybody have any questions? Can you remember that?
Yes.
So that is something we're going to have to figure out to continue.
Can you repeat what the recurring cost is?
It's $927,000. Do we, what is it, the same amount?
Again, I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Keep the 16%. I was just asking the item that's
I didn't hear you, what your question was, I'm sorry.
just to
So the fund withdrawal. Was that
Fund
this?
withdrawal is like, it's almost like our savings account. We're allowed to have a fund balance of, most years I've worked as a school business administrator, 2%. During COVID, they allowed that to go up to 4%. So last year, we were allowed to get our fund balance up to 4%. This year, we had to take it back down to 2%. Last year, instead of cutting our budget back, like we should have, the former administration decided to use $727,000 of fund balance in order to balance the budget. So that's really a revenue item. So in order to keep everything status quo this year, we needed to also use that another $927,000 of fund balance. This year wasn't a problem. We had to reduce our fund balance back down to 2%. So we had to take money out. Next year,
Can I ask what the total for the 2022-2023 total expenditure top line item was?
probably, I'm gonna say about 34 million.
So this is an increase of,
It's an increase in the taxes of 1.87%, an increase in the overall budget of about, I'm gonna say 3.4, that'll be 4, we can't get.
It's about 3.4%.
when you say taxes, that's a property tax.
That's, yeah, it's school taxes, that includes debt service and general fund operating budget,
So this would increase property taxes 1.87%. It's capped at what percent by the state?
2%.
2%. And
That's generally the problem. We're capped at 2%, but our expenses generally go up more than 2%. And so that's the kind of connected that, not just us, every school really is.
So we're under the 2% limit
For tax increases.
for taxes.
Well, we have 3.4% increase in spending.
And that difference basically was made up by, we got an additional $361,000 in state aid this year. So other revenue sources other than the tax levy increased, which is why the total operating budget did go up more than 2%. But the taxes, what the public pays, stayed at 1.87%. And like withdrawals from capital reserve and all that has no impact on the tax rate, because it's money we already have that we're spending.
So this is again a proposed budget so that Carrie can file it with the state executive attorney's superintendent. Review it, and we can still discuss it prior to fully adopting.
So yeah, basically another month and a half really.
Yep.
The
Discuss.
totals remain the same, but the pieces can be rearranged, as they can in any year's budget. Like I'm still rearranging pieces in this year's budget to fill gaps in salaries and other things. So it's not like a set in stone, once you put X amount of dollars in this account, you spend in that account. So
It's a 10% increase in the total.
the total
Right, so if
budget,
you look at, if you had 44 million last year,
I
and
don't,
you're at 3.
no, I think we were at 46.
oh, it could be 46.
I think we were at 46 last year. If I remember correctly, I don't have my provided, I don't have the.
Like all in
Previous budget.
with grants and debt service. I usually focus on the general operating account, because the other two are pretty well fixed throughout the school year. They don't have much, there's not any leeway in debt service, because that's based upon the bonds that were taken out years ago. And our special revenues and grants are getting state.
A lot of the costs are fixed, salaries, medical benefits. Stuff.
Yeah, well, that's why I asked about last year, just to get a gauge on what the increase would be, because if the cost go up 3 or 4%, but the total budget goes up 10%, that seems.
Yeah, but we didn't go up 10%.
No,
Total budget.
the total budget went up 3.4%.
I'm looking at the general fund expenditures for 23-24 is $46,128,000. When you asked me how much was last year's budget, I said about 44 million, and that's the number I was,
Of the general
of
fund.
the general.
That's right.
That's without the state money.
Right, the total was about 46, yes.
The taxes, the tax levy for the general fund probably increased somewhere in the range of 725 to 775. I don't have the exact number.
780.
If you want to stop by the office tomorrow afternoon, I can give you what went down to the state today.
Yeah, I pulled them previously, and they always, it depends on what's being sort of reported, so the state dollar, the tax, residential properties.
And this lays out the state report, what we spent in 21-22, what was budgeted in 22-23, and what the budget is 23-24. It gives you the percentage of change in each of the advertised lines. So you can see where the money change, the differences, and the percentages.
Right.
What's the increase in healthcare?
The increase in health benefits was 10%.
10%.
Right.
So the health benefits was 10% more base. Yeah, it was 927,972 was for the fund balance for this year. And again, I will give you guys the,
That's it.
I do have to give you guys the minutes, I'm just away this weekend.
So if you want to take a few minutes after this, I'll show you exactly what the numbers are for the tax increases. Okay?
Does anybody have any questions or discussion? Ms. King, you can go.
Mrs. Leonard?
Yes.
Mrs. Perrella?
Yes.
Mrs. Boardman?
Yes.
Mr. Petroselli?
Yes.
And Mrs. Johnson?
Yes. Okay, you're up next.
Agenda item number 1 represents the Personnel and Negotiation Committee recommendations. Just one item, it's the approval of the volunteer coaches. We have 1 for lacrosse and 2 for track, 1 for girls, 1 for combined boys and girls. Can I have a motion to approve that?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
Discussion? Volunteers, thank you for the volunteers.
Yeah, I think it's great that we have
Even
volunteers.
though you're not here, thank you for volunteering.
Okay. Ms. Keenan, full board?
Mrs. Leonard,
Yes.
Mr. Myers, I'm sorry, Mrs. Varela,
Yes.
Mrs. Boardman,
Yes.
Mr. Petroselli,
Yes.
and Mrs. Johnson.
Yes. Okay, there's something for education, policy. Nothing, unfinished business. Do we need to do unfinished business?
Nope.
New business. Correspondence.
Nope.
Petitions and hearings. Board member comments. Do we have any comments before you take that?
Just thank you to Carrie and Dave for the continued thing, and Jean and the finance committee for continued work on the budget.
Yeah, yeah. It was a lot of work. They did great. Yeah. Okay, then, can I have a motion to go into executive session?
Motion to go into executive.
Second.
All right. Okay, open session is now adjourned.